I had a good experience, but overall, I think like a majority, and this is more so major labels. So I wouldn't really worry about this if you're like talking to A&Rs or if you're talking with smaller independent labels. But a lot of major labels kind of focus on singles, or they go, oh, this one song has potential, and they really push and they push and they push for that one song. And what I kind of saw with my deal is they saw a lot of potential in I think you're really cool. It had a lot of success on TikTok. It had a lot of radio success, and eventually it kind of fizzled out. And they were like, "Oh no!" And it like kind of like felt like I made a song that was a moment in time, which I kind of consider a lot of my songs moments in time.
Mm-hmm.
But to them, they were like, "Oh no!" Like if this is just a moment in time, like this is an L. We really got to push this. So I think a lot of labels, and this isn't me trying to like stir the pot or anything, but a lot of labels kind of focus on those hit songs and the potential of those hit songs rather than your entire discography.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're an independent artist, you can kind of focus on marketing yourself however the fuck you want. Like you can push for one song, you can push for two songs, you can push for a project, etc. So I think in
Yeah.
working with a label, you have a lot of potential to expand your connections. You have a lot of potential to expand your career as a whole through one song, two songs, five songs. It all depends on your situation and the scenario. But I think overall, it's kind of smart to stay independent if you know how you want to navigate your career. And where I was at the time, I was really lost in what I wanted to do and what I could do. And I didn't really see a lot of potential in myself. So being on a label really kind of brought that attention towards me. And they were like, yo, you can fucking do this. And they really kind of like put the battery in my back. And it helped me understand my full potential. And even though there was like some highs and lows in that situation, as there is anything else in life, um, I came out of it learning a lot, and it was a big learning experience for me. And overall, it was a positive experience. So, to anybody that's listening to this, that is kind of being like, "Oh, should I sign a deal? Should I work with like these people that are hitting me up?" Just think about it. Just put some thought into it. No harm, no foul. And
Dude, you said that
yeah,
really well. And like what I
thanks.
took away from that is like that's not you trying to be like political or diplomatic or anything like that. Like I think you said that really well, and I think your advice to an artist is really good because what you said there is like you didn't really know who you were and you felt like you needed help. And in all reality, you got opportunities and help that you never would have gotten without that. However, it's to a degree a business, right? And you're giving up a percentage of a catalog or whatever you're giving up for those opportunities. And sometimes that's totally worth it, but it's something to be aware of. Read the contract, know what you're giving up, know what the deal is. But also, like what you said about the moment thing, I've never really heard anybody explain it like that. And I've worked on both sides, like with independent artists, like being just on tour with them, whatnot. And then I've worked with labels and, you know, managers and as a label kind of. So, like, labels looking for moments. That's not a bad thing. That's not saying like all you are is a moment or a single to them, but that's
Mhm.
where labels can shine. That's where they can go to other partners like Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, wherever, and say, hey, I work with this artist and this moment is happening and you should pay attention. And that's kind of
Yeah.
like the common speak. Like that's the language of the industry is, oh, you have a moment? Let us know about this moment. We'll showcase this moment. But there's not really as much space to say, oh, you have this project, you have this whole long visual concept, you have this thing that's bigger than this. Sure, if you're fucking massive, if you're Beyonce or I don't know, fucking just like big artists, like yeah, there's more
Yeah.
attention. But for a smaller developing artist, really the only amount of attention you can get is a moment. So if a label
Mm.
sees a moment, they'll help you raise that moment. And if you're losing that moment, they'll say, hey, what can we do to get another moment just like this? And as an artist, maybe you say, well, that's just one moment. I don't want my career to be defined by that. And I don't want to just make that same thing over and over again. So
Mhm.
you kind of just fucked me up with that. Like, that's a really good way to put it. And I understand it now differently from an artist's perspective. Hey, it's Andrew, the host of Where Are All My Friends? I hope you liked that clip. If you did, the full episode is out now. You can watch or listen to it anywhere where podcasts are available and probably wherever you found this clip. So go check it out.